Hi, this is Sharon, and you're welcome to Wealthiest Sharon here on YouTube. How are you doing? If this is your first time joining our channel, I want you to know that this is a channel where your growth is intentional and being your best self is non-negotiable. I want to say thank you for joining, and I hope that you would please subscribe, like, or share any of my videos. Okay, and for my long time on already subscribers, you guys are the best. Thank you so much for the support. I cannot over emphasize how grateful I am for your support. Thank you. Okay, so now I wanted to address something about my previous video titled "What is Stopping You." um I got some feedback that is not so loud, and I do apologize. I'm working on it. I'm trying to see how I can either try to get the audio done again, or I could just re-record it. I know. I'm sorry. Okay, but fingers crossed. I'm working on that. Okay. So, what are we going to be discussing today? Can you guess? Let's see. This is something that almost everyone faces at some point in life, whether you're rich or you're poor, or you're not, let me not use rich or poor, either you're still upcoming, already self-made, okay, already established. Okay, can you guess? Okay, so today I'm going to be talking about stress management. Yeah. Did you know that the month of April is the stress awareness month? Yeah. Imagine, stress is not something that should be talked about just once in a year. Okay. But at least it is recognized in the month of April. Okay. Now, stress is something that many of us go through. Sometimes we wake up to stress, or you wake up with stress, and then you carry that same stress either from the previous day or the new fresh stress for that morning or day, and you just carry it on your shoulders throughout the day, and it's on your shoulders, it's on your mind, and in the midst of that you still have to go around your day being productive. How is that? Now, stress is not something that we should overlook. Okay, because let's be honest, I know stress is not entirely bad. What makes stress bad is when it is too much, because stress in little, in a little amount, can actually motivate you, can help you grow. Okay, and it can actually push you to become your better self. And stress doesn't always come from having too much to do, like, oh, I have a lot on my plate. No, sometimes stress is just something that it comes like a feeling where you have to be in control of something, or you have to resolve something, and the whole thing is on your shoulders, depending on you to fix that. So how do you want to go about the whole day, the whole year? Sometimes people go out throughout the whole year with the same stress unresolved. Okay, now what we'll be talking here, we're going to be understanding stress, and we're going to be talking about ways to practically um, manage stress. And then finally, we're going to be talking about how to be the change when for someone or for yourself when you're stressed. Okay, so sit back, relax, and I'll be right back. I'm back. Don't mind me. So, stress is not the enemy. Okay, it is when it becomes constant that it can lead to burnout, anxiety, depression, or even death. Sometimes it could cause stroke. Okay, and as humans, we kind of normalize it, and be like, oh, it's just normal. Stress is life, stress is part of life. Some people even wear it as a badge of honor. Oh, it's good to be stressed. There's no medal, okay, for being the most stressed person. There is none. If you're like that, please change. Tell yourself, no, I need to relax. Okay. So now, like I said, we normalize it and we just say, okay, oh, it's not my thing. Life is life and such is life. But deep down, we know that it is not right and there could be something causing it. Okay. So we want to understand what is stressing us and resolve it or manage it so that way we are not stressed. Okay. Now, just because you're used to carrying stress or you're used to carrying something that is heavy does not mean it's not heavy. Okay. You need to understand that at some point in life, we need to disengage and, progress by reducing some stress in our life and don't normalize it. Okay. Now, how do you become the change or how do you cause change in your stress pattern? Okay. Now, be the change doesn't necessarily mean you have to take drastic life transformation. Like you just wake up one morning and oh, I don't want to be stressed anymore. I'm going to cut so and so things out of my life. I'm going to not do this anymore. No, you have to understand that things done gradually and slowly you understand it and then it becomes a pattern and then it becomes make sure you something that's manageable. Okay. So now we just need to take small intentional decisions about our daily lives. Okay. So now, for example, if you are the type of person that doesn't sleep well at night, or maybe you even sleep early, but you just realize that when you wake up in the morning, you're tired. You're still tired. Now, you might ask yourself, like, do some research. Be honest with yourself and say, okay, what do I do 1 to 2 hours before I go to bed? Am I on my phone? Am I on my computer? Or am I doing too much? Am I like over exercising? Like if you exercise at night. So you want to cut out those things and start with something like small and like, maybe tell us, okay, 1 hour to my bedtime, no phones. Just put it away. As a matter of fact, charge your phone far away from your bed. That is always a good thing that I practice. Sometimes I do. Okay. Sometimes it's even next to me, but once it's a certain time, I won't get any calls or take any messages or even watch any videos. Yes, I do that. And that's something that it took me years to work on. Okay. And now understand that because transformation doesn't necessarily happen overnight, it happens in quiet choices that we make. Okay. Now, another way could be for you to be the change, it could be like you setting boundaries and then you choosing peace even when the chaos is louder. You tell yourself something goes wrong and you're like, no, not today. I'm going to take charge of my day. Okay. You're not going to be rude about it. You just make a tough decision and tell yourself, I'm choosing peace even when the chaos is louder. It is. You have to. Okay. Now, you don't change your life in one big moment. You don't. But in small decisions, that are repeated daily in our lives. Okay. Okay. Now, what are the practical ways to manage stress? What practical ways can you think about? My number one ever practical way to manage stress or manage my day that has worked for me over the years. I'm talking almost all my life. Okay, it's time management. I'm telling you, you cannot overemphasize or underestimate how time management can help you manage your daily stress or even manage your life in general. Okay, you know, sometimes we need to understand that you're not overwhelmed, because you have like too much to do, but you might just be overwhelmed because you place everything, make everything important equally. Like you just make everything feel like equally important. Okay, so take for example, you have so much to do on your plate. Now tell yourself, today's whatever day, what do I need to do today? And then plan it the day before. If you can plan it 2 days before, imagine things can happen whether you plan or not. So now think about if you did not plan and you just let different things just happen to you that day. How do you think you'll be? You will be stressed out of your mind. So when you manage your time, you have like what, 24 hours in a day. Remove 8 hours max for your sleeping. Of course, you should sleep, because when you do not sleep, you would wake up stressed. You would wake up stressed, and that would affect your day, or might affect your day. I mean, so some people are still able to sleep 1 hour, 2 hours over the night and still go about their day. But now, stress in such doses will build up. It keeps building up, and then before you know, there's a snap. So we don't want that. So let's learn to manage our time. Okay. And then the next one that I want to talk about is exercise and movement. Okay. So now everyone will be like, oh, well, my job is physical. It has physical activity in it. Or I'm working. I can make like 15,000 steps a day. Good. I like that for you. But when do you not intentionally sit down and take care of yourself when that is not work related? You understand? Now, exercise is very good. Um, it helps you manage your stress. And when it manages your stress, it helps your mood. It builds your confidence. Okay. It does so many things. It helps your mental state. It helps your cardiovascular system. It helps your uh, your nervous system. It helps every part of your body. Imagine it could even help your muscles. Imagine if you just want to be toned, or just a little bit fit. That's it. And at the end of the day, I tell people I think exercise makes you more good looking. I know. I noticed that because I started exercising this month and it's been doing me very good. And you need to understand that exercise doesn't have to be a lot. It's not about the intensity, but about the consistency. You tell yourself, I want to carve out 10, 15 minutes every day today. You know, don't do too much. I want to take a walk, or I want to go do some push ups, or I want to work on my core. I want to build my stamina. I want to work on my endurance level, my pain level, anything. You will find out that it's working. You will be different, when you're consistent with it, and understand that movement is medicine. Like movement is medicine. Even when it is slow, it is still healing. So if you're working from home, or you do a job that has less movement, try to put that in your daily activities. Okay, that will help. And another way to practically manage stress is mindfulness and relaxation. Yes, mindfulness and relaxation is one of those times where you should know that the best thing you can do for yourself to be more productive is to have some pause times in your day. with times where you just say, you know what, you just breathe, you reset, and you become more present. Yes, because peace is not found in doing more, but it is found in being more present with less. Okay, you just tell yourself, okay, you just take it out, just even if it's 5 minutes, 5 or 10. If you, I mean, 2 minutes is good too. Just like pause, like you just, I tell my kids if the lot is going on and there's just too much chaos, you know what? I'm like, okay, guys, it's time to take a deep breath. And I noticed that because they started doing it. I do it. I mean, I do it myself, but I think they started doing it in school, so it was helping, and it also would help them manage their emotions. Okay, you just say, okay, we're breathing together. You see how helpful that was? Did you try it in this video? Okay. Make sure you are having pause times in every day of your life. Every day. If you can do it twice in a day, that is good. It will really help you. Okay. Now, the next practical way to manage stress is a social connection. Yes, social connection is knowing that you have some sort of support system. Okay, and you need to know that you're not meant to do life alone. Okay, there's no joy in just being alone. Tell yourself, oh, it's just me. I don't want to be with. I don't want to deal with anyone. It's not going to help you. Just imagine if you're going through stress about something, about maybe you made a bad business deal, or you're parenting alone, or you want to start a business but you don't know how to start. You've read books about parenting, you've read books about the business, you've read theoretical books, but imagine if you had like groups that you look for a group, and then you find people that have that that have gone through that process like that, and you learn from their practical experience. That would really help. Okay, so you need to understand that you need to talk to someone, if it's therapy, a group, a family, friend, anyone you trust, but just understand that you do not need to do life alone, because healing begins when you stop pretending that you're okay when you're not. Okay, so another practical way to manage stress is setting boundaries. Yes, even when you are socially connected, let there be boundaries. Boundaries. Make sure you have boundaries, because boundaries are not selfish. I'm not even joking right now. Boundaries are not selfish, and you're allowed um to take them because they're necessary to protect your energy. Okay, you want to always protect your energy no matter what. Because remember that for every time you say yes to someone else, when you are not able to say yes, you just say the yes ugh, because you're being sentimental, you're quietly telling yourself no. And in the long run, it will lead to stress. Okay, so learn to set boundaries. Okay, and now the next one will be positive isolation, like positive self isolation, or just having some quiet, like getaway. Okay, now sometimes you need that space, and it's not because you don't want to be around anyone, but it's just because it's your me time. Please, if you are not in the habit of having a me time, please try. Start this month, start today, and make the decision. that you are going to start having a me time. A me time is not selfish. It's a time where you just hear yourself like, I want to be solo. I want to, you live in where you normally stay. It could be like a short road trip. It could be just go put yourself in a hotel over the weekend and eat and sleep. It's a time where you don't do what you normally do, because it's hard to take a positive self isolation in your day-to-day living habitual. Okay, but it will be good. Now, you don't have to do a whole day. I'm not trying to separate families. Please, 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 please. I'm just saying that you can have a resting time, like just, it's a time where you just reset. And it's really helpful, because taking time for yourself is not isolation, but it's restoration in disguise. Imagine you had a long day at work. You get off at the crack of dawn by 4 a.m. or 5 a.m. And before you get back that day, it's 10 p.m. or 9 p.m. So, and you do that Monday to Friday, and then Saturday, Sunday, you get to do some other things. So when do you relax? So make it a habit. Even if it's half a day, make sure you are taking time for yourself. Okay. And now, the final practical way, or one of the ways, I'm not saying these are the only ones, but like for me, that to manage stress is support and stress awareness. Okay, or you want to say stress awareness and support. What does that mean? You are going to identify what is stressing you, and then getting support for that stress. Yes, you don't wait till you break down. Once you identify it, if you see something is a stress factor for you, and you try to, and if it's something you cannot avoid, try to, before, as soon as you notice it, try to get rest for that. And then, like you can get, it's like getting rest in advance of an impending stress. Yeah, you can do that. So you recognize you recognize that you're overwhelmed, and this is what is stressing you, and then you look for ways to get support. If it's through therapy, you just tell yourself, maybe I need permission to just rest, because you don't have to end rest. Don't say, oh, I haven't worked so hard, or let me walk first, I will get rest. No, you can walk and rest. So remember that you deserve rest simply because you exist. I learned that the hard way last year, and I told myself I would always learn to rest, no matter how chaotic or how stressed I am. I try, and I'm doing that. Okay. And if you need support, please ask people around you. Seek therapy, whether it's from a friend, or it's from a mentor, or a professional, or a pastor, or an imam, anyone. Just speak to someone about what is stressing you. Okay. Remember, there is strength in asking for help. That is not being weak. Okay. Now, we have learned about managing stress, right? And this is the month of April, Stress Awareness Month, where the theme is Be the Change. So, how are you going to be the change for stress, or for a stressed person, or a stressed colleague, or a stressed family member, or a stressed friend? Okay, first of all, you need to recognize and not judge them that they are stressed. Don't say, oh, it's normal, everyone goes through it, you're not the first. Or you see a mom who is struggling, with work, balancing a family with a kid work life balance. You don't say, ah, everyone has gone through it. You're not the first, you won't be the last. No, don't judge. Just ask them, how can I support you? How can I relieve your stress level? Or if the word stress will be a trigger for them, depending on how the person is, you can say, oh, you know what? I like the way you do things, I really want to, and I admire you, but is there any way that I can be there for you? Imagine that you say that to someone. I'm telling you, you would help that person, okay? So make sure you are supportive. Don't judge. Okay, and if they come to tell you, let's say, for example, you're the one stressing them out, or maybe something you do is a stress trigger for them, please don't take it personal, because that's how they feel. Accept it, and you guys get to have a heart-to-heart discussion. Okay, own it, take accountability, and accept it, that okay, this is how they feel. It's not necessarily about what you're targeted at you. Okay, so make sure you are supporting someone today in reducing, not aggravating your stress level. Okay, now this is not just for the month of April. I need you to know that stress, like I said, is every day in our life. Okay, so in this month of April and every day of your living life, don't wait for everything or anything to fall apart before you make a change. Make sure you're working on your stress level. I'm not saying you should be paranoid about it, but once you see that something is stressing you or something causes you stress, always try to manage it. Okay. And start small, remember. Small steps. Start however you want to start. And then slowly and consistently, you can increase how you are managing your stress. Okay. Take one step. It's like you're climbing. One step, slowly but surely you will be making progress. Okay, so now if this video resonated well with you, you like the video and you just want to, you're like, yeah, I think someone else should hear this, please do me a favor by subscribing, sharing, liking, commenting, giving me your feedback, and it would help me. It would make me know that someone is actually benefiting. Okay. And life doesn't change when everything is perfect. It just changes when you decide to show up for yourself. Always show up for yourself. Okay. Be patient with yourself. Yeah. Be intentional and be the change that you want to see in your world. Thank you so much so far for listening. I really appreciate you, and I hope that you will have a wonderful month, every day of your life, stress free. Okay, don't forget to subscribe, like, share this video, and until next time that I see you, always remember that your growth is intentional and being your best self is non-negotiable. Thank you and have a wonderful day. Bye.